Welcome to our Wednesday evening yoga class, Twyford Yoga. My name's Lynn and we're going to have an hour's yoga class. As you're working from home, just make sure that you know what objects are around you so that when you move, you don't crash into anything that you don't need to. And as ever, listen to your body. Make sure that anything that you do feels okay. If you don't want to do anything, you don't have to do it. If you want to make any adjustments, then you make any adjustments. You're going to start lying down on the floor. So lie yourself down on your back. Make yourself comfortable. Any relaxed position will do. If your lower back feels a bit tender, then bent knees can stretch your lower back out a bit. Straight legs can be relaxing as well. Just bring your attention to your breath. Tess, if you could angle your screen down a little bit, that would be great. Thank you. So keep your attention on your breath. Can you hold your attention through the whole of your breath in and the whole of your breath out? Equal length of breath in and breath out. Being aware of the rise in your body as you breathe in and the air takes up some space, softening back down as you breathe out. Bend your knees, feet onto the mat. So your feet are hip distance apart. Bring your feet in fairly close towards you, arms by your sides. So just leave your legs there. I'm going to move the arms in time with the breath. So as you take a breath in, you reach your arms over beyond your head, as far as they're happy to go. And then as you breathe out, bring your arms back down by your sides. So as you make that movement, come back to focus on your breath rather than on your arms. So your arms move in time with your breath. Whatever pace of breath is comfy is good. The arms stay the same way. But the next time you breathe in and lift your arms, push into your feet, lift your hips up off the floor as well. So it's like a lift-off bridge as you take your arms over beyond your head. And as you exhale, your arms come back down by your sides and you smoothly lower your back down to the floor. Roll it back down through your back ribs, through the back of the waist, onto your hips again. You need a bit of strength from your legs to lift your hips. It doesn't matter how high you lift them. More important that it's a smooth lift up as you breathe in and a smooth roll down as you breathe out. Take 2 more lifts. When you've taken them and you next land your hips on the floor, rest your arms as well. And then bring both knees onto your chest. Hold around your knees. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, bring your forehead up towards your knees. Relax your shoulders. Tuck your chin in towards your chest. And then gently roll your upper back and the back of your head back down to the floor. Keep hold of your knees so that you can then have a rock side to side. And then come to rest at the centre. Bring your feet down onto the floor. Roll to one side, make your way up to standing for our salute to the sun. So you're going to stand at the top end of your mat, facing the short edge of your mat, like this. I'm going to turn there in a minute. Put your feet together or just a little bit apart if you prefer. As if you're making two footprints on the mat. So feel your heels making their little bit of the footprint. Feel the balls of your feet making their footprint. And then a feeling that the two inner legs are zipping up from the ankle up through the inner knee, right up through your inside thighs, and then up through your inner body, lifting up through the crown of your head. So you're zipped up tall, top chest broad, shoulders relaxed. Keep that lifted feeling, reach your arms up to the ceiling. And then look up between your fingers. Reach your arms back and wide. Still zipped up, but now lifting your ribcage up off your hips, tilting it back, stretching your fingers out for the back corners of the ceiling. Look forwards, reach up. And then take a forward fold. Bend your knees, bring your fingertips onto the mat. Once they've landed on the mat, relax your shoulders. Relax your head and neck. Step your right foot back to a lunge. Big stride back and then lift your chest, look forwards. Step the left foot back to down face dog. So slide your hips back and up. Tummy button to spine. Glide forwards into your straight line. Push up position, plank position. Still your tummy button lifts. Place your knees gently on the mat. Lower your front body down, elbows close by your sides. Smoothly down. Your elbows stay close in. Roll your shoulders back. Take a lift of your chest. Look back down at the floor. Push up to hands and knees. Tuck your toes under. Lift back into down face dog. And in down face dog, we're going to stretch through the legs, one leg at a time. Take your time. Take enough time that you feel a good stretch on the back of each leg as you take it. Your hands stay firm on the floor. Stretch both legs. Weight on your left foot, look between your hands. Step your right foot through to a lunge. Spring off that back foot. Come into a forward fold, let your upper body hang. Deep bend of your knees. Drop your hips down towards the floor and then lift your spine. Put a little bit of an arched back and then just straighten your legs to come all the way up. Palms together at the top and then slide your palms down. Feel your feet firm. Zip up through the centre line. And then lift your arms. Look up, reach back and wide. So if your shoulders move up towards your ears, move them back away again. Stretch your arms from that position. Look forwards, reach up. Forward fold. Left foot this time, back to a lunge. Lift your chest, look forwards. Down face dog. Firm down through both feet, both hands. Tummy button to spine. Slide forwards. A completely straight line. Hold it steady. If you're feeling strong, knees stay lifted. Otherwise, place your knees on the floor. And then slowly lower down. If you've got your knees lifted, can you land everything at the same moment? Roll your shoulders back, lift your chest. And look back down at the floor. Push up to hands and knees. Tuck your toes under. Lift your hips again, down face dog. So every time we come into down face dog, you can adjust where your feet and your hands are if you feel you need to. Feet should be hip distance apart. Hands shoulder width apart. Tummy button lifting up towards your spine. What part of your hands is the firmest on the floor? Can you spread it so that every part has equal pressure onto the floor? Went on your right foot, look between your hands, and then step the left foot through to a lunge. Spring off the back foot, step it forwards, forward fold. As much knee bend as you need. And then a deep bend of your knees. Hips down low, lift your chest. Straighten your legs to come up, palms together at the top. And then slide your palms down. Zip up. And then take a breath in to lift your arms. Exhale, lift back into your back bend. Inhale, reach for the ceiling. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, right leg back to a lunge. Exhale, down face dog. Inhale, plank. Option to drop your knees. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, press back to down face dog. Stay breathing at that slow, steady pace. Adjust your feet and your hands, tummy button to spine. See how straight your legs can be. And that doesn't have to be 100% straight, but as straight as they're happy to be. And then to stretch the backs of the legs a little bit more, pull your heels back to the wall behind. Pull your calves back to the wall behind. And pull the backs of your thighs back to the wall behind. That sort of draws your hips back as well. Tummy button to spine. So the backs of the legs as if they're elongated, longer than the front. Stretching long, stretching wide. Weight on your left foot, look between your hands, and then breath in, right foot steps forwards. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, stand up. Exhale, palms slide down. Zip up again, take a breath in here. And a breath out. And then inhale, lift your arms. Make every breath smooth and continuous, every movement. Exhale, back bend. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, left leg back to a lunge. Exhale, down face dog. Inhale, plank. Option to drop your knees. Exhale, smooth lower down. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, down face dog. Steady, slow breath. hands grounded in the floor, that equal pressure through your hands, tummy button to spine, heels pull back, calves pull back, backs of the thighs pull back, hips move back, and then use that pressure, that even pressure through your hands to hold your hips back. Slow breath. Weight on your right foot, look between your hands. Breath in as your left foot steps through. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, stand up. Palms together as tall as you can, and then keep the height, slide your palms down. Breath in and a breath out. And then just let your arms rest by your sides. So if you need to take a shake of your legs or anything else, please do. We're going to do our balance. If you're lucky enough to have a hard floor, that's the easiest thing to balance on. If you've got carpet, then if you think you might need a bit of assistance from a wall or a sofa, chair back, anything like that, have it to hand. We're going to do tree pose, Vrikshasana. So we're going to balance first on the right leg. So bend the left knee, turn it out to the side. You can rest your left heel on your right ankle. Then you've got the stability of your toes. And stability of your toes is harder to do than having your hand on something and balancing on one foot. So if you want to challenge yourself a little more, keep your toes on the floor but don't hold on to something. But if you need to hold on to something, of course do. So if you want to balance on one leg, you can bring your foot onto your calf. Maybe you can bring your foot all the way up onto your thigh. Anywhere but on the inside of your knee, because your knee doesn't need that bit of pushing in. Bring your palms together. So grounded down through your right foot. Outside of your left thigh moves towards the wall behind you, opening your leg out, but not turning your hips or your chest. Stretch your arms up to the ceiling. Take a breath in here. Exhale, palms together. Another breath in. And then exhale, foot to the floor, arms by your sides. A shake of your legs if they need a shake, anything that they need is all good. And then balance on your left leg. Bend the right knee, turn it out to the side. Rest your heel on your ankle. So if you're going to balance on one leg, slide the foot up your calf. Maybe bringing it up with a bit of help of your hands to your thigh. And then bring your palms together. So keep your full height. And lift your arms. Hold your gaze on just one point. Like it's tethering you, allowing you to keep your balance. Outside of the right thigh, moving towards the wall behind, turning it out. Breath in. Exhale, palms together. Another breath in. Exhale, foot to the floor. Rest your arms by your sides. Have a shake of anything that needs a shake, a circle of your shoulders, whatever you need. Jump up and down. And then come and lie down on your front on your mat. So once you lie down, make a pillow with your hands, rest your forehead on your pillow. Just take a few breaths there. We'll start with Bhujangasana, Cobra pose. So bring your palms of your hands underneath your shoulders and your forehead resting on the floor. If that's not comfy, your chin is fine on the floor. But with your hands underneath your shoulders, your elbows should be slightly off the mat. If they're on the mat, then you need to slide your hands back. And your feet are hip distance apart. Your tailbone pulls down towards your heels to keep your lower back feeling long. You can take a roll of the shoulders. So roll your shoulders up towards your ears, hunching them up. Roll them all the way back towards the ceiling. And then slide them as far away from your ears as you can. Elbows close in by your sides. Tailbone still long. Take a breath in. Lift your chest. Let your head and neck come with it, just where they want to be. A little bit of pressure in your hands, but not too much. Elbows still in. It's like your elbows pull back to the wall behind, your toes pull back to the wall behind, your tailbone pulls back. And imagine you have a torch shining out the centre of your chest. Let it shine at the floor. Try and let it shine at the wall or the skirting board in front of you. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, smoothly lower back down. Place your forehead on the floor. And then the back of your neck gets a nice stretch. You're going to repeat the same in a moment. So hands under your shoulders, forehead on the floor. A roll of your shoulders, so shoulders up towards your ears, all the way back up towards the ceiling, and then towards the wall behind. Elbows towards the wall behind, close in by your sides, tailbone lengthen. Take a breath in, lift your chest. So your neck feels long. Everything's pulling back towards the wall behind, but your torch is shining out through your chest. One more breath in. Exhale, smoothly lower back down. Make your pillow again with your hands. Rest your forehead on your pillow. Keep your feet hip distance apart. Stretch your arms out in front of you, maybe a little wider than shoulder width. Comfortably stretched out in front. Chin or forehead on the floor. We're going to, in a moment, be lifting an opposite arm and leg. And when you lift your arms, you may feel that you want to lift your face off the floor as well. So do that if you want to. You just keep your head and neck in a comfy position. Lengthen the tailbone again. And draw your tummy button gently up towards your spine. So you're nice and solid in your core. That's not going to move. It's going to be your extremities, your arms and legs that are going to move. So tight through your core. Identify your right arm and your left leg. You're going to elongate them out. So right fingers reach towards the wall in front. Left toes reach towards the wall behind. And then lift the leg and the arm up off the floor. Lengthen them again. Right fingers forwards, left toes back. Take a breath in. Exhale, lower back down. And do the same on the other arm. So as you breathe in, extend long, lift up, extend again. As you exhale, lower back down. So breath in, right arm, left leg, extend, lift and extend again. Exhale, lower down. Left arm, right leg, extend, lift, extend. Exhale, smooth, lower down. One more on each side. Breath in to lift. Exhale, lower. Breath in to lift. Left arm, right leg, extend. Exhale, lower back down. So if you want to rest your arms for a moment, do. And we're going to work towards the bow pose, Dhanurasana. So bring your, lift your chest, bring yourself up onto your forearms. Have your forearms crossed in front of you. So they're like a support, so your shoulders are lifted without any effort. Your legs are stretched out behind. Okay. You're going to bend your right knee, point your toes up towards the ceiling. And then reach with your right hand for your right ankle. If you can't reach it, don't worry. If you do reach it, then point your toes to the wall behind. Lovely. So if you've got a hold of it, stay there for a moment. I'm going to show you what to do if you haven't got a hold of it. So if you haven't got a hold of it, look forwards. You're just going to keep your toes pointed up to the ceiling and your chest lifted. So you're not going to reach around. But if you have got to reach around, check that your right arm is straight. If it's bent, pull your foot back towards the wall behind a little bit to straighten your right arm, and roll your right shoulder back, a smooth open right front shoulder. Lovely. So now everybody is going to roll down onto their right hip crease. The very top of the front of your right thigh where it meets your hip. Squeeze it down and then lift your chest as if your collarbones are trying to reach up for the ceiling. Pushing down with your right hip crease, lifting your whole top chest. Lovely. Take one more breath in, and as you exhale, let go of the foot if you've got a hold of it. Let the leg come back down on the floor. Take a rest back on your pillow. Come back up. So on your forearms, taking hold of around your elbows, that's your support for keeping lifted up. This time left toes point up towards the ceiling. Have a reach around, see if you can find the ankle. If you can't, come back to this position. If you can, keep a hold of the ankle. Square yourself up. If you've got a hold of your ankle, flex your ankle, like you're pushing your heel higher than your toes. And if you've got a hold of the leg, then roll your left shoulder back. It's like a squeeze of your shoulder blade. So you've got a smooth open front of your shoulder. Then everybody, whether you've got the leg or not, you push down into your left hip crease and you lift your collarbones. Lift up out of that arm on the floor. So keep the pressure down on the hip crease, the left hip crease this time. Lift up through your chest. Roll the shoulder back if you've got hold of the leg. One more breath in here. And then as you exhale, gently lower back down. Release the leg. Find your pillow again. Take a moment there. So full bow pose is both legs at the same time. You have some options. Option to rest if you feel like you've done enough, especially if your lower back is feeling a bit compromised after doing that. Option to do the full posture. And if you don't want to do the full posture, there's a lighter option, and that lighter option is also for you if you can't reach your ankles. So going with those two more active options rather than just resting. You're going to bend both knees, point both legs up towards the ceiling. If you want to reach around, reach around. So if you reach around, you've got to reach with both hands so you haven't got the support of your forearms on the floor behind. It means you've got to reach further. If you get a hold, you make that flex of your feet again and you float your shoulders up away from the floor. You're going to hold there, because I want to talk to everyone who hasn't made that reach to their toes or wants the lighter option. So for you, you're pointing your toes to the ceiling, but you're coming up again into either where you were before or Sphinx pose with your hands out in front. So that's where you're going to stay if you're not holding your ankles. But the actions are going to be the same as before. It's going to be the hip creases and the chest. I will come back to that. So stay there if that's for you. If you've got a hold, Keep a hold, straight arms, feet flexed, shoulders floating away from the mat, shoulder blades squeezed, and then everybody push both hip creases firmly down, really firmly down. If you've got your legs, keep your shoulder blades squeezed, your shoulders lifted up off the mat. And then everybody lift your collarbones up towards the ceiling. It's a real feeling of lifting your chest. If you've got your legs, then you may be able to lift your knees. Maybe you can see if you can take your heels closer to the wall behind, as if you're straightening your legs. It can give you a bit more lift of your chest. So collarbones lifting up for everybody. Hip creases pressing down for everybody. One more breath in. Exhale, smoothly down. Relax once you get down. Find your pillow again. Let your legs completely relax. Just sit with any sensations that you feel. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Push yourself up to hands and knees. So it's strong on the lower back. So you may feel a little bit tender. You can stay here for a moment if you want to, or you can tuck your toes under and lift into down face dog. Don't lift into down face dog if it doesn't feel like a good thing to do. But it extends your spine in a really nice neutral way. It's not arching, it's not curving. You can maybe have a sway from side to side, whether you're in down face dog or whether you're on hands and knees. Just a little bit of movement of your spine side to side. If you're in down face dog, don't stay any longer than you want to. And to rest at the centre. If your knees are lifted, place them back down on the floor. So find a nice square position for cat and cow, a bit more mobility of the spine. You're going to start tucking your tailbone under, tucking your chin in, and dome your back up to the ceiling. That's where it might feel a bit tight, so be cautious as you go. Ease into the round, and then back to a neutral spine. So the opposite way, cow pose, a tilt of the tailbone up, a lift of the chest, a lift of the face. Shoulders roll back. Take a breath in here. And then as you exhale, tuck your tailbone under, tuck your chin in, dome up to the ceiling. Keep pushing up as you breathe out. When you're ready to breathe in, you move the other way. Tailbone lifts, chest lifts. Ease into an arch of your spine as you finish that breath in. Breath out. Tailbone tucks under, chin tucks in. Rounding more and more as you breathe out. One more breath in to arch your back. Take the whole breath to get to your maximum. One more breath out, doming your back up. And then back to a neutral spine. Sit back on your heels. Rest forwards in child's pose. Let your arms rest wherever they're comfy to rest. And if your forehead doesn't come onto the floor, either a block or maybe your fists underneath your forehead. Child's pose also gives a bit of length in the spine as well, so it's a further stretch, just what your back needs. And then bring your hands underneath your shoulders, lift your chest, bring yourself upright. Make your way up to standing. So we're going to take feet hip distance apart. And we're going to stretch the spine side to side. So take a breath in here. And as you exhale, lean over to the right. So you curve your spine. As you breathe in, you're going to come back to the center. And as you breathe out, over to the left. It's like you've got a wall behind you and you're just sliding left and right along the wall. Breath in to come up. So you don't lean your shoulders forwards. Breath out, over to the right. Breath in to come up. Breath out, over to the left. And a breath in to come up. So we're going to change it a little bit. We're going to exhale over to the right. And then as you breathe in, stay there. Stretch your left arm all the way up and over. Get as much stretch as you can on your left side. Exhale, stay there. Inhale, come back up to standing, arms by your sides. Exhale, lean over to the left. Let your left arm dangle. Inhale, reach the right arm over, windmiller over, get the big stretch. And then as you exhale, soften your left side. See if you curve some more. Inhale, back upright. Exhale, lean over to the right. Inhale, stretch the left arm over. Exhale, relax the right side again. Inhale up. Exhale, left. Inhale, bring the arm along. Exhale, re-soften the left side. See how much it tenses up. Inhale, back to the centre. Going to go one more to each side. Exhale, lean over to the right. Inhale, extend the left side. Biggest stretch. Exhale, soften the right arm again. Hang over. Inhale, back up. Exhale, lean over to the left. Inhale, big stretch over with the right arm. Exhale, stay there, relax the left side. Inhale, come all the way back. Lovely. So standing tall, shoulders relaxed, broad. Just going to turn the head to the right. Just as far as it wants to go. Feel where that is. Don't let the left shoulder roll forwards. Keep that rolled gently back. And then bring your head back to the centre. A slow turn to the left. Just feel how far round it wants to go with no movement in your shoulders. Back to the centre. And then to the right again. This time, stop at your comfortable maximum, but then see if it would feel okay to twist a little bit further. Just a bit of a squeeze. And only do it if it feels okay. Unsqueeze and then back to the centre. And turn your head to the left. Just that comfortable place first, and then see if it will be okay to squeeze a bit further. Unsqueeze, back to the centre. So a roll of your shoulders, big circles backwards with your shoulders. And then let them rest. So for our standing posture, we're going to do Trikonasana, triangle. So I've got my mat this way, and I'm going to be facing this way. If you can turn your mat around, then do. If you can't, then that's fine. If you can't, then turn to the left, which is this way. Yeah, if you can't, then turn to the left. Then at least you'll be sort of have the front of you will feel like it's forwards. So I'll give as many instructions as I can, because I know some of you can't see what's going on. But as ever, if I give too many instructions, the first instructions are always the most important. So if you think that's enough, I can't cope with any more, then forget what I'm saying. So feet wide apart, hands on hips. With triangle, we don't have to worry about the position of the knees and the ankles, but you do get more of a lean if you get a wider stance. So a wider stance is preferable, makes the rest of the posture easier. So your left leg turns in and your right leg turns out. And as much as you can, you square your hips and your torso to the long edge of your mat. So feel how this left hip wants to roll forwards, really, wants to roll towards this short edge of your mat. So to draw it back, the back of your left thigh pulls towards the wall behind to pull this hip back. You're going to stretch both arms out, keeping a long neck. Grip the floor with the back foot, the left foot, and keep that feeling of pulling the back of the left thigh back in order to pull the left hip back. Take a breath in. As you exhale, reach your right fingers for the right wall. So the top of your right leg is where you're hinging from. Keep those same actions with the left leg. Keep the right arm lifted. Feel how long the right side of your torso feels. Remember that. So keep the back leg strong. Windmill your arms around. So the right arm drops down towards the floor. The left arm reaches up towards the ceiling. If your right knee feels like it's a bit tight or not quite right, take a little bend in it, just a very small bend in it. Re-grip the back foot. Back of the left thigh pulls back. Tummy button to spine. You can tuck in your chin and look up at your top thumb if you want to, but if you'd rather, you can look forwards. So keeping the strength in the back leg. Remember how long the right side of your torso felt as you stretched out. Can you recreate that length? Steady. Tummy button floating towards the ceiling. Feels like the back of the left shoulder is almost trying to lean back against a wall behind you. Lovely. One more breath here. Make the back leg strong. And then take your top hand behind your back, palm face out. Turn and look down at your right foot. Relax your shoulders, big bend of your right knee. And then a breath in to come back up to standing. Hands on your hips. Turn your toes to the front. So we're going to go on the other side. If you like to feel like I'm at the front, then turn the other way on your mat if your mat is long ways towards me. Yep. I don't know that it makes much difference because you're not going to look this way anyway, but there's something about being at the front, isn't there? So your right leg turns in and your left leg turns out. Torso comes to the front. So feel your right hip. Feel how it would quite like to turn towards the left-hand side of your mat, but that's what you don't want it to do. So the back of your right thigh pulls back towards the wall behind, and the back foot, the right foot, grips the floor. Stretch your arms out wide. So back leg and foot doing all the work. Take a breath in. As you exhale, lean your left fingers towards the left wall. Keep both legs straight. So the angle is at the very top of your left thigh, that hip. Reach as far as you can. Keep the left arm lifting up away from the floor. Feel how long the left side of your torso feels. And then windmill your arms around. One up, one down. Tummy button to spine. Tuck in your chin, look up at your top thumb if that's comfy. But fine to look forwards if you'd rather. Little bend in the left knee if you need it. Firm down through the back foot. Pull the back of the right thigh back as well. Find that longness, that length in the left side of your torso. So the strength in the back leg gives you a bit more ability to find length and lightness in your upper body. Steady breath. They're looking good. And then you're going to bring your top hand behind your back, palm face out. Look down at your left foot. Take a good deep bend of your left knee. And then a breath in to come back up. Hands on your hips, toes to the front, have a breath or two there. And then ease your feet towards each other. Bring them to hip distance apart. You can take a forward fold, it doesn't matter which way you want to stand. So hands on hips, feet grounded on the floor. Take a breath in to lift the front of your body. As you exhale, hinge forwards. So no curving in your back of your waist yet. Once you can't hinge any further, then bend your knees and then let the back of your waist relax. Let your shoulders relax and drop down just with gravity, and your head hangs as well. Feel where it wants to just relax. Let go of your hips. Take a hold of the opposite elbow with each hand. So your feet are grounding down into the floor. As much bend of your knees as you like. That gives your lower back a bit of a stretch. And as you press down into your feet, engaging your legs, draw your tummy button in towards your spine, almost as if you can lift up and over it to hang a little bit looser. Release your elbows, let your arms drop down towards the floor. Take a deeper bend in your knees, tuck your tailbone under, tuck your chin in, roll gently back up to standing. Don't rush. I'm going to sit down on the floor for a twist. If you have a block to sit on, have a sit on a block. If you don't have a block, then cushion is fine. Nothing is fine as well. So don't worry if you don't have any equipment. But if you do, might as well use it. So sit on your block, well sat on your block with your legs stretched out in front. Hands either side of your hips, they give you a little bit of lift, toes pointing to the ceiling. You're going to bend your right knee, bring your foot in nice and close, and take your left hand on your right knee. Left hand on the floor, right hand on the floor behind, to lift up tall. How lifted can your spine feel with your shoulders relaxed? It's almost like your lower back ribs have to move forwards in order to have a lifted spine. Take a breath in, and then as you exhale, take a turn to your right. As you breathe in again, that lower back ribs forwards, feeling to lift up, and as you breathe out, a bit more of a turn to your right. That's it, looking over your right shoulder. Yeah, that's your right, Kim. No, that's not your right. That's the one. So every breath in you lift up, every breath out you turn. Feel like the back of your right shoulder, every time you breathe out, rolls back. You get that smooth openness in the front of the shoulder again. Helps you twist a little bit further round. So one more breath in. One more breath out. And then gently turning back to the front. Stretch that leg out. Stay sitting tall if you can. And bend your left knee. Foot in nice and close. If you're not sitting on a block, or even if you are sitting on a block, but it's really difficult to sit tall, taking your foot further away can make it easier to sit up. So if you're finding it difficult to get that lift, take your foot further away. You can still just take your hand on your knee and twist from there. So wherever you want to have it, right hand on your left knee, right toes up towards the ceiling, left hand or fingertips on the floor behind. Depends how long your arm is. So lower back ribs lift forwards. Take a breath in, and then as you exhale, turn to the left. Breath in to lift up. Breath out to turn, looking over your left shoulder. So use every breath to turn. Feels like as you exhale and turn, your shoulder blades come closer to parallel to the long edge of your mat. We're going to have one more breath in to lift. One more breath out to turn. And then gently come back to the front. Once you get there, stretch your legs out. Give your legs a bit of a shake. And then lie yourself down on your back, doesn't matter which way you're facing. Move your block out of the way. Have your knees bent. Take a moment there. And finish off with happy baby. A hip stretch. So stretch your legs up to the ceiling, feet hip distance or even a little bit wider apart. And then reach your hands for the outsides of your legs, so outsides of your knees or outsides of your calves. Keep your feet looking up towards the ceiling as if you're standing on the ceiling, and then bend your knees down towards your rib cage, but wide of your rib cage. And as your knees come closer down, you can reach your hands up the outside of your shins. Maybe if you've got long enough arms, you can reach your fingertips over the outside of your feet. If you can't reach that, hold on to your ankles or somewhere along your legs. Try to make your upper back comfortable on the floor. And your knees are wide of your rib cage. Softening your hips, trying to feel that if they soften some more, your knees could touch the floor outside your rib cage. So feet wide apart as well. Grab your feet a bit wider apart so that they're as wide as your knees at least. Take a breath in here. And then as you exhale, see if your tailbone will roll down closer towards the floor. What action allows you to soften your hips? And keep your knees bent. Take your hands away from your legs or your feet. Bring the soles of your feet together. Keep your knees wide. Soles of your feet come together and the outside edges of your feet lower down onto the floor. So your feet are on the floor, outside edges are on the floor, soles are touching each other. Your knees drop out to the side. You can have your arms out to the side. You can rest your hands on your hips. Or you can take your arms wide out to the side, maybe bend your elbows so your hands point a little bit up beyond your head, like a cactus. Soften your hips. If you feel like you're holding on and you can't let go there and it's very uncomfortable, stretch your legs out. If it's okay, hold there for a little bit longer. Close your eyes, take your attention to your breath. And your abdomen rise as you breathe in, soften as you breathe out. Complete attention on every part of your breath. And stretch your legs out along the mat. Bring your arms down by your sides, but keep them a little way away from your sides. Turn them palm face up. Keep your eyes closed. Find yourself in your most comfy lying on your back position, with your attention remaining on your breath. The next time you take a breath in, observe it all the way through. Find the point, the exact point when the breath in stops, and maybe extend that pause slightly before the breath out starts. When you breathe out, follow that whole breath out Notice the exact moment that the last bit of air comes out, and then extend that pause before you take another breath in. Know that there's all the time in the world to take these breaths. You can breathe as slowly as you like, as long as it's comfortable. No breath happens without you knowing. Take 2 more full breaths like that, and then natural breathing when you've completed those 2 breaths. Reach your arms beyond your head. Stretch your fingers out as if you're trying to reach for the wall behind. And bring your legs together. Push your heels away. Pull your toes up towards your face. And then point your toes away. Relax your arms, relax your legs. Bend your knees. Bring your feet onto the mat. And then bring both knees onto your chest. Take your hands around your knees. Have a rock side to side, or make big circles with your knees. Find something comfortable for your back, for your hips. If you're circling, go the other way as well. And then allow yourself to roll all the way onto your right side. Make sure you've got room. If you haven't got room, of course, go to the left. Have a moment there. And then gently come back up to sitting. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me.